Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back.
We're back
to another episode of The Keel Show. I'm your host, as always, Alex Keel. Alongside me, the insider to the insiders, Tyler Keel. We're sorry.
We're sorry. Apologize now. We should apologize.
It's his fault.
It's been so long.
It's his fault.
All 7 of you, we are so sorry. And Mom, or 6 and Mom, we apologize. We've been, okay, we should just go to
I'm going to apologize to the 6 because I know that Mom already listens to the podcast. By the way, if you haven't listened to our podcast,
we have a podcast.
The Keel Podcast. You can listen to it on the Google Play.
iTunes.
The iTunes.
TuneIn Radio.
The podcast app on your Apple products. If you have the latest update.
So iTunes podcast.
And SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yes, that's the one we go through. Well, we've just been really busy with work and stuff, and we've only been able to do, what? We have a new one? No, we don't have. How would we have a new one? I had
No. We don't have a new one. I was going to say, if you're listening on the podcast app, I can't say for the rest. If you have the podcast app.
Don't say we're like the second search again.
Well, no, I was going to say that you can now listen to every episode. I have it on my phone. I'll show you.
Well, we'll look at it later, but, because we got business here. We just say we're sorry. We're going to try to do more of these. We're just really busy with work, and I'm done with Davenport. We're both done with Davenport. We were really busy. We had our commitments there. We're going to try to do more of these, like, obviously, with the rounds and stuff. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I can do all of them.
Okay, cool.
Well, except for the ones that you didn't take off there. Or the ones you took off there.
Well, I had to take them off there because I couldn't leave them on SoundCloud.
I know.
That's something we're working on the side. But yes, we've only been able to do the podcast because that's something like, it's an hour long. This is usually short videos, and we don't really have time to kind of gather up. There's obviously been a lot to talk about, but today we got something really big to talk about, something that's near and dear to my heart, and something I always love. Once a year, Memorial season always has. There's the Sunday before Memorial Day, or Remembrance Day in Canada, and Victorian Day. Victorian Day, too, if you're actually... Remembrance Day if you're in Quebec. Victorian Day, everywhere west. But then, because that day, Alex, it's the international racing holiday, Monaco, Indy, Coke 600, big races. But then also the playoffs, the NHL playoffs. However, there is also one big thing that happens. It's a couple weeks. It puts the best of the best. It's pretty much the second best junior tournament compared to the World Juniors. Alex, what is it?
Well, to be fair, it's only 9 days. It's only
a week and a 2 day.
A week and a day.
No, it's
a week and a day.
9 days, Alex. That's a week and 2 days.
Week and 2 days.
A week and 2 day. Because today, see what I did there? We're gonna talk about the Memorial Cup.
Yep.
The CHL's best 4 teams now. I forget. I always remember that 4
teams.
Yes, and it repeats the the Ed Chenoweth Cup champion from the Western Hockey League, the J. Ross Robertson Cup champion from the Ontario Hockey League, and the President's Cup champion from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and a host team from wherever.
Yep.
And this is the 100th anniversary, so it's been a lot to talk about. They've been trying to rank the best 100 teams of all time, of all the Memorial Cup champions. But however, we may have maybe a number 1 team this year. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It starts Friday, by the way.
Well, there's always a number 1 team because there's always a winner.
Correct. Well, like a number 1 of all time. But however, there were some...
Number 1 of all time...
The 2005 London Knights.
No.
I'm not biased whatsoever.
Nope. I'm going to say...
I would have worn my Knight shirt, but, since they got...
What year was it when Taylor Hall... Didn't Taylor Hall win with Windsor?
The 09 or 010 team. Or 08 or 09 team.
I think it was the 09 team that I actually paid attention.
Because that was the team with Zach Cassian.
That one.
Troy Passing wasn't washed up
yet.
One.
Right there.
You Windsor.
That one.
Eastern. Well, it's Eastern Detroit fan.
No. It's not a Windsor thing. It was just that was the first one that I actually paid attention to. So
yeah, true.
That one, it's one of those things that you hold near and dear to your heart. It's like the first time you watch a wrestling show. Mike Tyson and DX destroyed Jericho.
Yeah,
I remember it. Yeah. I remember it. But
no, that was just Chris Jericho and Mike Tyson.
No, it was Jericho.
Oh, that's the one you watched. I remember the first one we watched. That was different. We watched together. Yes, remember it was the Mike Tyson show.
Yeah, it was the Mike Tyson was the guest host.
It's okay, Alex, it's the podcast. We can't ramble on. We got to stick to the point. Point forward.
4 teams. We have our host from the WHL, the Western Hockey League, for those of you that don't know acronyms. The Regina Pats.
Regina, former Patricia. Former Regina. Oh, what was their name when they won a cup back in the 20s? This is gonna hurt my head.
While you're hurting your head, the other team from the WHL is the Swift Current Broncos.
Yes, the best, arguably one of the best teams in the league. During the entire year, they would finish. Well, we'll get into them later.
Well, in the league of the WHL or the OHL?
You said Swift Current, right? Yes,
correct.
The WHL. Sorry, I'm trying to quick look it up because it's gonna hurt my. Like I said, it's gonna kill me if I don't know who it is. If I don't remember.
OHL, I meant CHL. Excuse me.
Yes, one of the best in the CHL. Regina Monarchs. I remember they changed that for a second because they were Patricia was for Queen Patricia.
Correct, Mundo.
And so they changed it for 1 year, and they won the 1 year they did it.
Hooray!
Yay!
Really?
Yay for the Monarchs.
Even though it's been a
long time since the monarchy really mattered. Yes, I know.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Okay, well,
the monarchy's
that's another day.
That's a show for a different kind of reason.
Different kind of podcast. Different kind of everything.
Right.
Onward.
We should do a wrestling podcast.
We have too much time. We don't have enough. Okay, onward.
Upward and onward and upward. Oh my gosh, I almost said upward and onward. That would sound really weird.
Yes, it would.
Anywho,
so we have Regina and Swift Current from the WHL.
Then we have the Quebecois, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Acadie Bathurst Titan.
Yes, this was a team that's always been decent, but never quite got their due. But this year they do.
They got their due.
There's a symbol over here. See, I had it right over there.
You know, you could say that pun was absolutely delicious.
If you couldn't see, that was
those are dill pickle chips.
Dill pickle chips.
Dill
yes,
pickle
I was trying to
chips.
explain that out.
Dill pickle chips. They're really good. Oh yeah, back to
one
this.
more team, Alex. There we go. Come on.
OHL, Eastern Biased. The former AHL organization, near and dear to my heart, the Hamilton Bulldogs.
That was a game we got popcorn thrown at us, right?
Oh yeah.
Not beer, popcorn. Just popcorn.
Popcorn.
It was a Saturday game, wasn't it?
Correct.
Because beer was expensive that night because no one was throwing beer.
Are you kidding me? Freaking what was it, like $3.50 a beer? No. Or something like that?
$3.50? I remember the 90s, Alex. It was like $7.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't really care for how much
Well, I know you did because...
I didn't pay attention.
That's true. So, this is... So Regina's holding it again. If this is their...
In Regina, Saskatchewan.
This is the fourth... Let me... where is it? This is their actually only the second time they've ever hosted. I think they believe they sit third all time. Let's see, come on, lead. Oh no, Regina Pats are currently among active teams. They sit second all time with the actual amount of Memorial Cup championship wins with 4. Second time hosting. This is at the Brandt Center in Regina, Saskatchewan. One of the places they were actually thinking of maybe having the World Juniors at. No, they're not. They're doing Vancouver next year. But there's talks that they may do the next Canadian venue for World Juniors after Vancouver, and when they come back to Canada, will be maybe Regina and Saskatoon, which I think would be awesome. Get back to its roots.
I don't know.
I
mean, I like the idea of it, but there's this...
I just think it's too much. We saw that with Buffalo this year, of course, but...
I think it's just this thing with... I don't want to put out in the... Because when I think of Saskatchewan, I think kind of like... Not necessarily... a lot of stuff going on there.
A lot of money out there.
Well, there's a lot of money out there, but there's not a lot of going on.
Right.
But, so, just a reminder, this is the 100th Memorial Cup. This is
obviously there's going to be a big ceremony behind the first game, so...
Absolutely. Big ceremony behind the first game, and then obviously the last game.
I'm going to miss it. Well, okay, I'm going to try to watch the replay, because, I work Saturday morning.
Worst comes to worst, you can always watch
it. It's a 10 o'clock start out here, Alex.
Worst comes to worst, you can always watch it.
Well, I'm going to try to find...
You don't have to watch it live.
By the way, any of our lovely fans, any of our fans that are from Canada, if you have a Sportsnet Now account or your email, I would like to have it so I could watch it. Please. Because I need to find a way to watch it. Alex, they're only on the NHL Network. And that's kind of expensive. We don't have that. I'm going to try to find like a link to it or something, but...
I'm sure somebody will have a stream or something.
I know, they gotta, because my goodness. I really hate missing this tournament.
Right.
So
let's get into the teams real quick.
Yes.
So let's start with Acadie.
Bathurst. Yes.
Bathurst Titan. Second President's Cup, first since '99. This is their second Memorial Cup appearance. They finished second in the league with, if I'm saying this correctly, with the Quebec stats.
Yes.
43 wins, 15 losses, 8 losses in overtime,
correct.
And 2 losses in a shootout.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
They're actually, I think the Western League, they don't really count necessarily they count shootout wins on like a tiebreaker scenario. I don't think the Quebec League does that. The 3 leagues have their own, like I said, Quebec keeps the 1-16 system like the NHL used to have back in like the 80s. So the first, so first seed plays 16, 2-15, 3-14, so forth. Ontario does the old NHL style now, the 1-8, the 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7.
Right.
The Western League does the wild card, but that's because the U.S. division only has a few teams. The West has less than the East, and I don't know why they just don't combine them. But then again, you have so many teams in Saskatchewan and Alberta, it's hard to separate them. So anyways, talking about the Titan, and I'll be honest, watching game film of these guys, this is a team that they didn't have a great amount of scoring. They don't have like a massive, like, Antoine Morand, he was the leading scorer for the team. He had 76 points. And you say, 76 points, that's a lot. In junior hockey, guys, like, remember Doug Jarvis? Good old stay-at-home defenseman Doug Jarvis. Played with the Canadians, played with the Hartford Whalers, 964 consecutive games.
Right.
He scored 46 goals in a season in junior. May have scored 40 in the league after that, like in the NHL. So 76 points is not a whole lot playing junior hockey. However, he still led the team, and he was really huge in the playoffs for them. But their big guy.
So you're saying the goalies suck?
Not necessarily. No, not well. Offense is a lot more wide open. So you didn't go to the London Saginaw game Dad and I went to.
No, but I can watch on TV.
You've been. I've taken you to Jack's games. USA
that's
games.
Different.
It's wide open though. There's a lot of scoring chances.
Yeah, it's more back and forth ping pong.
Right, and I'm saying, and it's the same way with the Canadian Hockey League. And it is it's beautiful to watch. So let's kind of go through who they had to go through. So they had played number 15 Chicoutimi. Oh my gosh. Follow the Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. Who's the guy? The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. You know the song I'm thinking of.
Gitchigumi.
It's Gitchigumi. Okay, so
that's the name of Lake Superior. That's
right,
not a guy.
Yeah,
that's not a guy. That's
I know. I was trying to think of the artist though that sang the song and what was the Lake. Okay, Chicoutimi. Sorry, Chicoutimi. The Saugons. They beat them 4-2, and it was kind of actually a series that people. It was kind of they got kind of caught off guard. They should have easily whomped the series, but Chicoutimi played them tough. So they figured it out. They go up against Sherbrooke, the Phoenix, and just walk through them. 4-game sweep. They go up against Victoriaville, who had a pretty. I mean, they were kind of expected to do well, but didn't know they'd actually get to the conference finals.
Can I say the next one?
Yes, you may. But hold on.
Okay,
so they walk through the Tigers, though. How they got through the Tigers? I mean, how the Tigers could have won a game in that series, but Titan was just way too strong for all 4 games. And then they played the number 1 team in the Quebec League, the regular season champs. Alex, would you like to name the name?
Sure. The Blainville Bois-Brand Armada!
Blainville Bois-Brand. This was a team that they were supposed to win this year. They were supposed to get the Memorial Cup, go over that big hump that they have not been able to get to, even when Ouellette was there, even when they first switched over from the Montreal Juniors to Blainville. This was supposed to be their year. They were supposed to go to Regina.
Timeout. You said hump. Time in.
I just don't understand. I understand because, like I said, watch the game film. I just watched those two teams play against each other, and it just looked like Armada had those capabilities, but Titan was just so dominant. Like, they were so persistent. And
they played like Titans.
Yes, and here's the thing about Evan Fitzpatrick, the goaltender. I'll go through him right now. Evan Fitzpatrick, by far, was probably the best goaltender in the playoffs, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. So he got traded over from Drummondville, Victoria. No, he got acquired in a trade
from Ville.
Okay, there's a yes. Don't.
Well, there'd be Victoriaville, Drummondville, Ville.
So he got traded, and he had a decent run towards the end. He only had an .895 save percentage over the year, but in the playoffs, he just stepped it up. His 2.1 goals against average 20 games he played led all playoff goaltenders. His save percentage of .925 was third, and that was behind Samuel Harvey. If you don't remember, Samuel Harvey, the saving grace for the QMJHL in the Super Series, the CIBC Canada Russia Series. It used to be the Subway Super Series, at least when I was a kid. But he actually had a couple records. He started the most consecutive starts with 23 and the most wins by any Titan goaltender with 10. So he's the reason why that team got up to the second place. However, probably the best player and the playoff MVP for the Titan was Jeffrey Trichanville. He had 23 points, which was fourth in all players over in the Quebec League playoffs. Second in goals with 14. He scored many key goals in the final. The thing is about Katie is that the defense, and this is like I said just before. It's a lot of wide open hockey. The defense allows a lot of great chances. Watching the game, Fitzpatrick had to play well. So that's how you know how good of a goaltender he needs to be.
Right.
If they want a chance to win, because like I said, you need to only win 2 games in this tournament. So you win 2 games, you're good. And I think, but their power play is really, really good.
Right.
Once they get that thing going, that puck gets moving, they have a really good chance to score. So not a whole lot of high expectations for them, but they could turn.
They have a chance.
You need to win 2 out of 3 games.
They'll put a fight.
Yes.
All right. So
like a Titan. Yes, they did. You're welcome. You're welcome.
God, Tyler, stop being such a fago.
For all of our any viewers from anywhere else, Fago is a Western Michigan pop.
No, it is not. Fago is a Michigan pop that is produced in Detroit.
Oh, it's not.
Bingo, bango, bongo. I'll take the whitefish.
Bingo, bongo. Fago.
God, you're such a fago.
You just said that. You can't do it. Okay, anyways, onward.
Twice and 3rd time's the lady. Fago. Hamilton Bulldogs is the next team we're going to talk about. This is their first Robertson Cup, first Memorial Cup appearance, first Hamilton team since the Finn Cups of the 1976 team to win.
Hamilton Finn Cups. They had some. You know what? Junior teams always had great. That's a name.
That's a name.
That's like, but that's like borderline Kenora Thistles, man. That's beautiful. Thistle. Are you a Thistle?
No.
Oh.
And they were the first in the Eastern Conference, second in the league with 43 wins, 18 losses, 4 overtime losses, and 3 shootout losses.
Yes, this was a team that was kind of in the middle of the pack. Kind of start the year. They have since they became an OHL team. They didn't start off well. They were kind of a team that was. Excuse me. They were a team that was supposed to do well, but you never knew for sure. You were kind of on the edge of like, is this team actually going to do something? Is that team going to leave Hamilton?
You know what I was on the edge about? The color change.
Okay, they were Montreal's team. Now they weren't. They were the Red, White, and Blues for a minute.
Yeah, for a hot minute, and then they were by
Alex,
the way.
But Alex, they wanted to adapt with the city. Like the Ticats, black and yellow. Black and yellow is Hamilton's colors.
Oh, whoops.
The Steelhawks, the Allen Cup hockey team, the Senior A team, they're black and yellow.
Okay, Cleveland, we get it. You have LeBron. So what? You just gonna copy and paste everything? Not even the Lake Erie Monsters. The Cleveland Monsters. What's one of their other teams? The Cleveland WNBA team is the same colors.
Well, yes, because that's how all WNBA teams do it.
All I'm saying, you can differentiate.
The Indians are still red, white, and blue.
You can
The
differentiate.
Cleveland baseball team, pardon me. So
They're the
back
Indians.
to the Dogs, back to the Bulldogs. They had a fairly easy time. Like I said, they got really hot towards the end of the year. They go through the 67s in 5 games. Yes, those same Ottawa 67s.
Yeah, we know.
They go through the Niagara Ice Dogs, which could have been. Niagara was a very good team. I was surprised they did not. Like I said, they ran into a really good Hamilton team. So that kind of makes sense. And this was a very top. Usually you have like an upset, like a 7 or 8 seed or 6 or 7 seed winning. This was like 4. Like I said, Niagara won their series 4-5. Kingston, they won their series. They won the second round too, to go up. Or actually, excuse me, they actually beat the 2nd seed. That may have been the quote unquote only upset in the Ontario Hockey League this year. The only real big one, I guess. At least coming out of the Eastern Conference. They walk through them easily in 5 games. Then they get the Sioux, who have been dominant from start to finish, from wire to wire, whatever you want to call it. The Sioux Greyhounds were meant to possibly, this was another team that may have had a better chance to win. That should have probably won the series. They were good off the very beginning of the year. I remember I wrote an article about them. Unfortunately, I lost it. And then they just go through the year pretty fairly easy. They have a lot of high scorers, and they just run to a much better, like a more strong, sturdy Hamilton team. With that said, I think one of the biggest things for Hamilton is their depth scoring. Not a single. And here's the thing about that. When I say that, it's like I'm not saying they don't have a lot of scoring, like depth scoring. Yeah, they have a lot of guys score, but it's so spread out. They didn't have a single guy scorer, the top scorer in the top 20 in the OHL. Like that's how good they're scoring in terms of like everyone scores. Everyone can score. Robert Thomas was probably their best player during the season. And he obviously was in the playoffs. He won the Wayne Gretzky 99 award. I totally forgot that's the playoff MVP trophy.
Yeah.
They did that in 99 when they made it the Bobby Orr trophy in the East and then the Wayne Gretzky trophy in the West. I forgot when they did that. They kept it the Robertson Cup, though. But he had 32 points, which was third in playoff scoring, and he was by far the Hamilton go-to guy throughout the playoffs. Brandon Sagen was key as well. He scored 70 points in the regular season, and he scored a couple real big goals going down in through the playoffs, a couple big goals in the finals against the Sioux. Mackenzie Entwistle, he's not really a big high-end scorer, but he was able to, he put a few in there that were at key points throughout the series of the finals, at least between them and the Greyhounds, that just made it look like, it's kind of like a, I don't say like a Peter Klima, but like a, trying to think of a modern day example exactly. So, like,
Spit it out.
Jake, like a Jake Gensel. Not a guy you really expect to score, but however you put him in a good team and a good lineup, he produces.
Right.
Now Jake Gensel's one of the best hockey players. And ironically, both of their home sweaters are black and yellow. Literally the exact same, which is kind of weird. Except Entwistle's 44, so.
Continuing.
But the goaltending is going to be the problem. If they live on the high score. A lot of those games were high scoring in the playoffs in the regular season for Hamilton. Their goaltending, Caden Fulker, they brought him in too. They brought him in last year or this year. I'm horrible at trades. Junior hockey trades are really hard to follow. It's worse than East Coast transactions. I'm kidding. I'm not serious. I'm not kidding. I should have drank more coffee before this.
Man, Tyler, you're really pucking it up, man. Get it? Hockey puck.
All right, so speaking of not being able to stop the puck, Caden Fulker, 2.86 goals against average. That's, like I said, pretty high, but pretty standard for Ontario Hockey League, but for especially a good team, an .899 save percentage. Yeah. Like, it's like watching him, you see him, and like he's kind of unorthodox, very flexible.
Right.
But it just seems like you're not sure if he's going to make a save. Like, you see the shot come at him, and you're like, is it going to go through him? Is it going to go into him? I like he only lost 3 games. 2 of them were overtime. Lost 3 games total. 2 of them were overtime during the playoffs. 2.7 goals against average .905 save percentage. But like I said, you just need to win 2 games in this kind of a tournament. And that's why I don't know if Hamilton has capabilities. But their offense is persistent. Like I said, they have that depth scoring. But their defense really help their goaltender. But the problem is they really get caught puck watching. They get caught running around the defensive zone. They need to just sometimes settle back. But here's, like, if they want to win, if they want to keep playing like they did in the regular season or in the playoffs, they will have to score. You cannot, like, they lost games 3-2 and 2-1. If they have to win, they have to score 4, 5, 6 goals a game in order to get to at least the semis, let alone the final, let alone get the bye into the final.
Great analysis. And I analyze that we need to go to the next team.
Yes.
The Swift Current Broncos.
They had not really, you know what's funny? For a solid team like they were, actually, I'll let you finish the intro. I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah, I gotta do my part.
You gotta do your
before you go and yapping 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 and yapping. So this is their 3rd appearance in the entire history of their existence. 1993 and 89 was the first 2 appearances before this year. They were the 1989 Memorial Cup champions.
Don't forget, that was a few years after the tragic bus accident. I saw something really funny, or not funny. Sorry, it's actually horrible. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
You mean coincidental?
Yes, coincidental. Yes.
So, as I was saying, Mr. Blabbermouth, this is their 3rd. Excuse me. They won their 3rd Ed
No, Chenoweth. It's Chenoweth.
Chenoweth.
Yeah,
Is
Chenoweth. I said it earlier. Chenoweth. Yep.
The third
He is the former-
Ed Chenoweth Cup.
Former commissioner of the CHL and WHL at the same time. Apparently, you could do that back in the day.
Great.
Found that out.
Woohoo!
Research, man. I got my research.
And they're second in the. They finished out with second in the East Division with 48 wins, 17 losses, 5 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses.
Yes. And so here's the coincidental thing I found, and it was 1986. Swift Current has a tragic bus accident. A lot of players lost. Absolutely horrible. The Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, the Junior A League team that wins that year, that wins the championship. The Humboldt Broncos. This year, Humboldt Broncos, obviously the very tragic accident that everyone saw, absolutely horrible. Swift Current wins the championship this year. It's a crazy coincidence. So maybe, who knows what that means? I don't know. But here, like I said, they did not really have a very swift road into the Memorial Cup.
That's funny because they're the Swift Current Broncos.
Yes. And currently, you're slating chips.
Swiftly. Hey!
You're about as swift as San Andreas Fault. So, anyways, they beat the Regina Pats in the first round, which it's always kind of weird when if a host team ever wins the league championship, because then you don't know who gets in. It's only like whoever's the best team. But they beat the Regina Pats in a 7-game series, and we'll get to that series. We'll talk more about the Pats, because that was a beat down, drag it out kind of a series, and I'm shocked that Swift Current was able to get to it, or able to get out of that series. Those were 2 of the top teams in the league. So they go to the East Division final against Moose Jaw. Will you pick your head up?
You took my chips.
Oh my gosh. So then they go to a 7-game series against the Moose Jaw Warriors, which was the best team in the East, and have to go through a knockdown, drag it out series. They go against Lethbridge, who was able to get Lethbridge, not Lethbridge. I always think there's an E in there. That's my fault. Lethbridge, and they beat them in a fairly simple 6-game series against the Hurricanes, and they win in 6 games. Then they go against Everett, who Everett just steamrolled the West.
Damn it, Everett!
Thank you. From beginning to end, just like I said with Armada, or excuse me, not Armada, the Sioux. The Everett, they had Carter Hart as their goaltender, who was fun. This was a fun series to watch from a goaltending perspective. Despite this, I think one of the games was a 6-5 game. The rest of them were very close. It was Carter Hart stealing the show. Stuart Skinner was playing phenomenal for them. When we'll get to him here in a second. But that was a tough series, but they were able to get a big win. They were able to win at home, which was great, obviously, for the fans of Swift Current. Glenn Godden was...
Glenn Godden.
He was... He was a guy that they needed to step up, and he did. He had 32 points, which was 3rd in playoff scoring, 14 goals, 18 assists. 125 points in the regular season. That was 2nd, by the way. But here's the thing about Swift Current. It wasn't just Godden. They had Alexei Hiponiemi. Holy cow!
Alexei Hiponiemi.
Here's what happened. My brain went to the mouth, and unfortunately there was a blockade around the nostril area, and it behind, in the middle of my head, and it just stopped everything. So my mouth went, the brain did not get the name out. Alexei Hiponiemi. He was 1st in assists in the league and 4th in points, and his 30 points in the playoffs was 4th. Tyler Steenbergen, who, if you don't remember, guys, was kind of a afterthought for the Canadian World Junior team. He was only 6th in goals and assists during the regular season with 47 and 102 points. His 27 points was 7th in leagues in the playoffs. And he scored a bunch of huge goals, especially in that Regina series and the Moose Jaw series. These were this 3-headed monster of an offense for Swift Current is what's leading them in right now. And I'm really excited because here's the thing, because I think if I'm not mistaken, Steenbergen is drafted. That's something. I apologize. I should probably looked up draft picks.
I like dogs.
I know you do. I know you do.
Well, I mean, you're talking about 3-headed beasts.
And you're thinking of Harry Potter. Yes, I know.
Well, that's Cerebrus.
Yes. Cerebrus, the cerebral 3-headed dog. He's got 3 brains. He's got to be cerebral. But obviously you cannot win.
Cerebral. Not cerebral. Cerebral.
What'd I say?
Cerebral.
Oh, my bad. So, Stuart Skinner, before I was really interrupted.
Yeah, because you were pucking it up.
You said it once, you can't say it twice.
Third time's lady, pucking it up.
So you can't just win a game, win a series, win an offense. Even though Hamilton was able to somehow do it in the Ontario Hockey League, but over in the West, it may be a little different because they have the scoring, but then their goaltending was amazing. Stuart Skinner came over from Lethbridge, and I remember this one because I remember seeing him. He's from Lethbridge. Gets traded over from Lethbridge to help get Swift Current and get the goaltending they needed. So he gets in there. He had a 307 goals against average, 905. Doesn't look too good, but then in the playoffs. He just shuts the door. And I'll say this, if it wasn't for Stuart Skinner, there was no way Swift Current wins. A 2.2 goals against average and 932 save percentage both led all goaltenders. By far, he was the reason why, so like I said, Swift Current, they can score. However, you can only score so many goals before another team finally catches up to you. But the goaltending, Stuart Skinner, he is going to be huge for them. The problem is, like I said, once again, Canadian Hockey League, junior hockey, soft in the defensive zone. If Stuart Skinner wasn't big, they would not have won. And like I said, the three-headed monster needs to be there.
Cerebrus.
Okay, yes, Cerebrus. Steenbergen, Happy Nammy, and Godin all have to be at the top of their game. Of course, the Memorial Cup, everyone's going to get fired up. So I'm really excited to see how they're going to be able to play. And who knows, because like I said, in junior hockey, teams can be really good one year and absolute garbage the next year. Unless you're the London Knights. But then you get swept in the first round, and you sit there and you think, what the heck is going on? Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All of your players will just get sent up to Toronto.
Thank you, Mark.
Sorry about not getting the job, but thank you, Mark.
Even though it was supposed to happen anyways. Onward! Focus!
That's my hat. That's my Marvel hat. By the way, 10 out of 10 movie.
10 out of 10 movie?
10 out of 10 would watch again.
Yes.
Regina Pats.
The Regina Patricias. Monarchs. Regina Pats. Team from Regina.
The team from Regina that has a poorly calculated name.
Regina, Alex, it was a name. It was a name.
Yes. 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 Talking about yeses. They're saying yes to being the host for the second time in their entire history. Well, the town of Regina. Town or city?
The city of Regina.
City of Regina, excuse me.
Yes.
16th appearance in the Memorial Cup. They were four-time champions, all in order. 1925, 1928, 1930. Yes, the 1928 team was the Monarchs. 1930 and 1974.
They have not won since, and they haven't really been there in a while. And I really think, they're kind of doing. I think since they've been there since the beginning. They've been around since the first Memorial Cup. I think they're kind of like, all right, there's kind of, and don't forget, obviously, they're not really anyone around from those days, but I think the feeling is, hey, this may be a chance, that you need to take. And we've seen it before with host teams. A lot of host teams do win. That's just the weird part is having that host team, because I think they really wanted the 4-team system, so it's easier to do the round robin. And I think I like it better because obviously then you don't have to worry about ever having, because I think the initial plan was we wanted to have a neutral site, but then I thought if we're going to put a neutral site, why don't you put the team in? And that was, I think, kind of a cool idea, but then it really never gave, because I've seen some really bad teams go. I think they pick how you do the year before on base of that. There have been some really bad teams that have hosted.
Here's the thing,
really bad.
Here's the thing, though. You try to make a neutral site, that way there's no real bias. But then you add in the team from the town,
and then it's just,
so there's
complete
bias.
That Regina Swift Current game, that's the last game of the round robin,
right?
Is gonna be the game to watch.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna be.
Not to mention it's the last one, so obviously most people are gonna pay attention.
I forget. It was it in? They had it the tournament Mississauga one year. Was it 20? I think it had been 2012. Had it in 2012. Mississauga lost to Owen Sound in the OHL championship. That's when they were St. Michael Majors. They lost in the championship. The first game of the Memorial Cup is between the host Mississauga St. Michael Majors and the Owen Sound Attack. They played, I think the series went 6 games. 7 straight games against each other. Literally, and I don't think Mississauga did that well, unfortunately, but I just remember, J.P. Anderson was the goaltender at the time. And I just remember thinking to myself, that's horrible. But that's why I think, and I'm going to get this with Regina. I having that long break between playing games from round 1 to now, how much rust will there be? Because you get it in your psyche, you're sitting there, watching the playoffs go on. You want them to end sooner so you can get there as soon as you can, even though it's already a set date. But you're just sitting there, just wanting to go, ready, just sitting there waiting. But you don't get any game time. So I don't know. We'll see how they come out in game 1. They play Hamilton on the opening night. It's going to be interesting. That said,
Talking about waiting, can I finish the intro?
oh yes, we're not done yet.
No.
Oh, you had the record. Yes.
I wasn't done. Gosh.
Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
This guy. This is why we don't do the TKS anymore. That's why we do the TKP.
We never call it that. Probably for a good reason. Sounds funny.
Because it sounds weird.
Sounds weird. Anyways.
So, they finished the season with being third in the East Division. Excuse me. 40 wins, 25 losses, 6 overtime losses, and only 1 shootout loss the entire season, and they were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs by the Swift Current in 7 games.
That was and here's the thing about that is that, like I said, remember how I said Stuart Skinner was important for Swift Current?
Nope.
5 of the shut up. 5 of the 7 games, Regina outshot Swift Current. In 2 of the games that Swift Current did outshoot him, they actually won. Or Swift Current won those 2 games that they outshot him by 1 shot.
Doesn't matter how much you shoot as long as you hit the net.
But my goodness, it just seemed like Regina, their offense, they create a lot of great opportunities. They have a lot of great scoring chances. Like I said, they could have won that series if Stuart Skinner is not the goaltender for Swift Current. And of course, then again, if Stuart Skinner is not the goaltender for Swift Current, I don't know if they're a second seed, if they even have home ice advantage in that series. So, but they have Cameron Hebig. So it's been a long day.
Not even gonna say. I'm just gonna hold it up.
Yeah.
Okay, you take my chips. Now you take my puck.
Yes. Yes, I did. What's it to you? Touche.
Go on.
Touche, young Padawan.
Padawan.
Cameron
I'm
Hebig.
the perfect one. You were the test dummy.
Cameron Hebig, 90 points in the regular season, led the team. And like I said, not a whole lot of high-scoring forwards, but enough scoring that could help them. They have a 4-line. They have that depth scoring that could be huge for them in these in the first round, the round robin. Sam Steele, a pretty highly touted prospect, 83 points. He had 33 goals. That was third. I'm trying to think of memory here. Third on the team. Ryan Kubik started in the playoffs for them. Went 13-15, 3-5-1 goals against, 8.93 save percentage. Not much better in the first round. He had 308 goals against, 8.91 save percentage. They brought him in because they had a rookie goaltender, Max Paddock, who actually had better numbers than Kubik. With that said, they went with Kubik because he had more experience. That's why they brought him in. And I don't really think I think you go with the rookie. I really do. I think, you know what? It's a big stage for the kid. Yeah, we'll see. Give him game 1. It's 3 games. If he messes up, put Kubik in the other 2 games. Kubik did not really impress me at all in that first series. He really didn't. I really don't think that he's a guy that can be a starter in the Western Hockey League. They brought him in because Regina needed a goaltender, and they wanted to, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, Regina fans, they went with a cheap deal. They may have gotten someone better. Obviously, Stuart Skinner was way out of their budget, what they're willing to give up for. And they went with Kubik, and yeah, it got him to the 3rd seed, but it didn't pay off. It was like a Ryan Miller win to St. Louis. They thought it was going to work out. They thought, hey, he's playing all right in Buffalo. He's been their starter. Let's give him a chance to go for a cup. They get ousted by Chicago in, 4 games, 5 games that year?
At least he gets a second chance.
Right, but I don't know if we want to give Kubik a second chance. Paddock, like I said, played better in the regular season, had better numbers, didn't get a single whiff in the playoffs. I think he came in relief in one of the games, but I go with the rookie in this series or at least in game 1, because, hey, you know what? Big stage, he may play big, he may fall. It's worth the shot. I'm sorry, Regina fans, you're not supposed to be there. You didn't win. You won a bid. It's like Calgary holding the Olympics. Doesn't mean Canada's going to win. Canada may host the Olympics.
Should.
Well, yes, they should. Granted, yes. But that's what I'm saying. Regina, you know what? Go for it. It's the Memorial Cup. When's the next time Regina will get into it? Let's be honest. Go for it. Hey, Saskatoon was probably happy with their 1 appearance. And I don't know when the next time that'll ever happen. Love you, Saskies, but Sorry. So we'll go over the schedule, Alex.
Yes, the time where I get to talk.
Yes. Need more talking time.
So, starting 2 days from now, almost exactly, we're actually, well,
No.
not almost exactly if we were to take the Eastern Standard Time that we are right now.
We're about 75 hours away from puck drop. Or less than 75 hours away. 72 hours away. 75 hours away. 74 hours and...
Change.
43 minutes and change.
Your time's off, though.
Crud.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Nice.
Ooh, big gulps.
Gross.
Really?
Not a big fan.
No. Are you going to talk? You're supposed to read the schedule, Alex. Alex reminiscing about the 7-Eleven we used to have.
The 18th of May will begin the start of the round robin. That'll be between.
You're making fun of me because I can't say he bigger happen yummy, but here you are. You can't get out. Hamilton.
Hey, you
Regina.
can't do anything because you threw the puck away.
Oh yeah.
Hamilton versus Regina, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Game next day, 19th. Swift Current versus Acadie, Titan. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a little bit of a matinee game there.
2 p.m. Mountain local time out in Regina. We should mention that for all of our Westerners. There could. Hey, you know what? There could be. There probably is. I just apologize to the Regina.
Eastern bias.
He's got
the
Eastern
20th
bias.
of
I'm
May.
gonna try to be as what's the word I'm looking for?
Unbiased.
No, I want to use a different word.
Neutral.
Some later. But I'm trying to be all for everybody in this one. Coast to coast, Maritimes to Victoria. I want to go as Victoria, BC, by the way. All the way across the country.
This coming from the most spiteful, most cold, and one single-minded person I have ever met.
Says you.
I'm open to ideas. I was open to doing this show. I was open to do a podcast after.
Yes, you were. And because
I was open to that. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay.
So we're at the
20th of May. Regina, Acadie, 7 p.m. So Acadie has 2 games back-to-back. And then...
I think everyone does it twice. No, except for only Regina. Actually, I take it back. Regina is the only team that does not. Or does Swift Current do it too? No, Swift Current does. Swift Current and Regina do not have back-to-backs, but yet Hamilton and Acadie Bathurst do.
It's just scheduling. You only got 4 teams.
Western bias, Alex. That's what I
It's not a Western bias. It's you're doing everything days in a row compared to like the playoffs in the NHL where you have a day off or so. So,
Brandon, okay.
The 21st of May, Swift Current versus Hamilton, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next day, 22nd, Acadie will face Hamilton, so that's Hamilton's back-to-back, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. Then that goes right into the 23rd. Regina will be facing Swift Current at 10 p.m.
Oh, baby.
Another late game. And then the tiebreaker game, if needed, will be held on the 24th.
That's usually if it's like if either 2 teams are 2-1 or 1-2. It's very weird. There's always
teams are tied.
Yes, correct. So because obviously, like if the 3 and the 4 teams are tied, if it's like the 2 and 3 teams are tied, well, sorry, 4 seed. 1 seed, obviously, whoever has the best record gets to jump right to the final.
Right, and that will be held at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that, if not used, that will be the only day off the entire
in terms
Memorial
of games
Cup.
played. In terms of games played,
Entire
in terms
tournament.
of like the actual tournament, not for like teams, obviously.
Right, because obviously they'll practice.
Katie Bathurst has
and then
only 1 day off. Sorry.
The 25th will be the semifinal between the second place team and the third place team. And that will be held at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then they have the 26th off, and then the final game
Sunday
will be on a Sunday, the 27th. The first overall team out of the tournament versus the semifinal winner.
All right.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So I have to figure out if I'm going to watch the race on the big screen or I'm going to watch Memorial Cup on the big screen. And hopefully there's not any Stanley Cup playoff games on that day. Or else you're going to lose your laptop.
No, it's my laptop. I give you no permission.
Fine, I'll figure it out. well.
So, predictions. I'll start off with mine because they
So
count.
are we gonna pick? So we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1.
So 4, 3, 2, 1. Winner of the semi and final. Okay, that's a good idea. We probably should.
Actually, no, let's do 4, 3, 1, 2.
No, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because then we got to pick the semifinal.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. We should have probably prepared this. Prepared the predictions.
That's okay. So,
It's like
my
a joke.
prediction is, for some weird reason, I have a feeling that Regina is going to win.
You think they're gonna? Well, hold on. Wait.
Oh, wait, no, we're going with 4, 3, 2, 1.
yes.
Excuse me.
So yes, Alex.
So 4, I'm going to say that goes to Swift Current.
Really,
Swift Current will be 4th.
really
Yes.
hot take.
Hot take. I'm coming in hot. Swift Current, something's going to happen. It's going to get weird.
You don't think Stewart's gonna stand on his head, or you think they're just gonna forget how to score?
I think they're going to forget who they are.
Ooh.
Swift Current is going to be 4th, so they're not going to be included in the semifinal. And then the semifinal will be played between who I think will be ranked 3rd. That's going to be Hamilton. Hamilton's going to be 3rd. And then Acadie. Acadie will be 2nd. And then, obviously, last but not least in this case, Regina will be 1st. They will have a couple days off, and they will face whoever wins in the semifinal. Which...
Oh, no. So I'll do my 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, 4th. Do you do 43?
So I pick Hamilton to finish 4th, and I'm gonna say that.
Hot take!
And guess what's gonna happen? They ain't gonna finish 4th.
They're going to win.
They're gonna win.
They're going to win.
Brian Adams, great song.
They're gonna win.
I really think they just don't have the goaltending, the offense. You can run cold in 2 games, your offense, and that's going to be tough because, like I said, they play Swift Current, they play Stuart Skinner. You know, Evan Fitzpatrick, he's been on a good roll for Bathurst. Regina, like I said, that's a game I'm ready for a 9-8 game in that one. That's what I'm ready for. That'll probably be the only chance they really have to win a game, I think, in terms of on paper.
Okay.
So Hamilton 4th.
Who's your 3rd?
I want to say I'm gonna go with Regina because like I said, that Swift Current game is gonna be do or die
Right.
for them. I think they're gonna go. They should beat Titan. They could beat Hamilton. Swift Current, I'm not sure. They know what they're expecting. They probably watched game film 100,000 times since Game 7. They know what to expect. But if Stuart Skinner's on his game, which is why the number 2 team is going to be actually, I almost said something else, Bathurst. Bathurst is going to finish 2nd. I just think they have the scoring. I think Veal's going to be huge for them. Fitzpatrick's going to play well. They can easily beat Hamilton. They can easily beat Regina. I think they finish 2nd, which brings me to number 1, Swift Current, because I don't know how, like, they're so hot. Their scoring is so just dominant. Their offense is that powerful. And if Stuart Skinner plays like Stuart Skinner did in the playoffs, he ain't putting a P by him. I really don't think there shouldn't. I don't see how Swift Current, like, they could easily lose. Any team could easily lose. We saw it with Quebec Ramparts. Zachary Fucale came in. Best goaltender in the league, was going to be a great prospect for the Canadians. Got shelled. Got ran over, and now he's down on the coast. Or I think he's with Laval now. Is he with Laval? I don't know.
Laval, yeah.
Well, he went out of sight, out of mind, pretty much.
Well, no,
So
no. I think he's
still with the Canadian system. Yes.
well, he's fringe starting down there.
Right, and that's why I'm saying is like it's easily possible. But I think Swift Current can easily win 3 games in this tournament, in the round robin at least.
Okay. So, what's your prediction to win the semifinal?
Oh, you're going first.
I'm going to go first?
Yeah,
okay, fine. Excuse me. So, I picked between Bathurst and Hamilton.
Yep.
I pick Hamilton. Hamilton will come out of that game if it were to come to existence. Ty?
So, my 2-3 obviously is Regina and Bathurst. Statistically, you pick Bathurst, obviously. A much better team on paper.
But
Man, if this Paddock kid can play like he did, and if Regina plays like I said, that 7-game series could have gone either way. That's why I think the Regina is the underdog in this tournament. I think they can win. They should win. Which sets me up, I'll go right into mine, for Swift Current versus Regina again. Come on. How do you not want that? They just played a 7-game series. They played probably an intense final game of the round robin. Regina had to work their way into the final. My goodness. If that place isn't rocking, oh my gosh. Now that's the best part. Remember, they won, Swift Current won in their barn in Game 7. They won the championship in their barn. Now it's in Regina. Regina's got the home ice advantage.
Oh, but before you finish, I was going to say this earlier. Do you think they'll need the tiebreaker? I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I just don't think Hamilton... Like, if Regina
Someone's
can,
gonna fall off a
Regina
cliff.
can figure out their goaltending, I don't think Hamilton can. Hamilton's backup, they don't really have an existing backup.
I think someone's going to fall off the earth.
I think it could be Hamilton. It should. Well, I picked Hamilton. Right. Any team could, but Hamilton...
I picked Swift Current, so hot take.
Yeah, do you think that's... Swift Current's going to win one. I think they have to win at least one. But anyway, so Regina...
Versus Swift.
So I'll let you pick your final, but yes, Regina versus Swift Current. That's a game...
Okay.
Yeah, so you pick your final
So my
first.
final is between Regina and Hamilton, and...
My 3-4 versus your 1 and... Well, 3 then, because Hamilton finished third, but pretty much those are your two teams. Okay,
Right.
Go ahead.
I say Regina has a good chance of winning, but Hamilton will win. Hamilton will win their first ever Memorial Cup in their first ever Memorial Cup appearance.
I think that would be great for the city of Hamilton.
Absolutely.
That would be pretty cool, I'll be honest. However, Alex, you're wrong once again.
How am I wrong?
Because first of all, Hamilton's not even not even in my stratosphere of thought. Swift Current wins over Regina at home in Regina. Oh my gosh, that place is gonna be so quiet. But then eventually you get the applause for your team doing well in the tournament. Man, Swift Current. I want Regina to win. It's like I said, I picked Regina over Hamilton, whatever, blah, 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 and I picked them to beat Bathurst over statistically, but I just don't think Regina can do it. I think Swift Current wins. Swift Current goes in there, they play their game, Stuart Skinner stands on his head, and like I said, you just need to win one game, and their offense is going to be too much for Regina. They win it like they did in Game 7. Swift Current, 3-time Memorial Cup champions over the 4-timers. I'm really excited, man. Of course, you heard me on the podcast yesterday. I got my chair squeaking over it because I was just so... It's World Cup season, man. Let's go. Let's get it going. Friday's going to be great. I'm not going to get a lick of sleep. I'm going to be bad at Berlin because I'm not going to be paying attention. I'm going to be watching the... Oh, wait, the Bath game starts at 4 o'clock? Yeah, I'm not going to be paying attention at work. I'm sorry. Anyone from Berlin Raceway, where I'm working Saturday night, I apologize.
And talking about going, so are we. We're going to be going off and doing our thing. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this pretty long episode. We didn't expect it to go this long. However,
like we said, we usually don't do episodes this long, but it's a preview show, so we had to.
Right.
We had to analyze. We had to be inside.
the insiders.
Yes. Ugh, gosh.
Not in a sexual way. That's gross. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. For Tyler.
Mackenzie does not look that great either.
No. For Tyler, I'm Alex. Thank you once again. We'll see you next time.